So now we'll check out themes, and that's going to cover the style sheets here, front-end modules, and page layouts. We'll start with the style sheets. This is pretty straightforward. You can import your own style sheets or create a new one, which I've done here. And that lets you basically create a new format definition, is called. Pretty straightforward. You just put your selector in there, and then you can either straight up code it down here or use these handy menus for common styling tasks. Another thing to be aware of is you can add a category right here, and that basically makes it really easy to filter out up here what you're looking at. So if you have a bunch of styles that are just going to be applied to the header, for example, you can categorize them as header and then quickly filter that out so that if you need to jump back in and style stuff later, you can only see the stuff that you're working on. So that's just a handy way of dealing with style sheets. Okay, we'll go back to themes and get to the front end modules. This is something that's definitely going to be covered in other videos. Modules are can pretty much do any function you want. There's a bunch loaded already, but you can include your own as well. And it's primarily dealing with dynamic content like calendars and news listers, stuff that has that special functionality. Like right here, I've made a couple navigation modules. Basically, you select which type of module you want. There's tons of different options for functionality. And based on what you pick, there's going to be a bunch of different options. So for the navigation menu, you can change the start level, the stop level, the pages it's dealing with. And then once you have it set up, for example, the navigation menu, when you rename something in the site structure or move it around, it will automatically show up through the navigation module. And so that becomes very powerful and functional. Again, this is a whole deep subject, but basically the idea is that this is where you're adding special functionality to your website and changing the settings and all that. Okay, so let's go back out to themes. And the last thing we'll cover is page layouts. Basically, a page layout is like a master template for a page. Every regular page that we made in the site structure is going to have a page layout assigned to it. And it must have one assigned to it for anything to show up. Depending on how you have all of this stuff set up, the page layout, it will determine the basic structure or sections of the page, as well as what content will be included within those sections. It's also, you'll add the style sheets that you want to include and other data, which we'll get into in other videos. But one way to think of it is that the page layout is basically like a funnel. All the different parts of your site that you've worked on, the articles, modules, styles, all of that needs to get funneled through a page layout onto a page. That's something that we're going to get into in the last video because it touches on everything. And it's an important thing to understand for how everything you works on actually finally gets to the front end. But that's enough for now. We'll try to flesh it out in the last video.